If you hope and you're planning to do data science, bioinformatics for the first time, these videos are the lessons I learned. These videos are the things I faced, the challenges I went through at that initial phase. Maybe this video can help you then prepare much better than me as you plan to join your bioinformatics program or any other data science program. By the time I'm recording this video, I'm done with my first year for the program, and things are looking pretty good. Doing internship, things are falling into places, but that was not the case. I have a biological background, wet lab background, and I do work as per now. I'm working in a wet lab setting. Now, with all the biology background, with very little information about computer, jumping into bioinformatics, which is a combination of biology and computer, was not very easy, especially the computer bit. I already had the biological information, things like you need to be having general concept about biology, concept about cell biology, general concept about DNA, the genetic information, all the DNAs, the RNAs, and all those items related to our genetic makeup. We come to things like evolution. Those are the basics that one needs to know in the biology field. Basically, first at the initial step. Yeah, I already had that biology field. If for you're out there, and let's say you have a computer skill, you're coming from a computer background, then I would suggest beginning to acquaint yourself with some of these biological terms, from those cell biology, genetics, evolution, all that kind of aspect. You need to acquaint yourself with all that info early enough. Why am I saying early? You should even be doing this as early as before you join school, because once you join school, it is marathon. It's marathon. You have like 4 months to study within campus, but it's like 3 months teaching, and then you have like a month of doing exam. So within 3 months, if you go as an absolute beginner in this concept, then it's going to be a very steep learning curve. To make matters worse, if you're studying while working at the same time, or you have a business alongside, or you're doing more than one activity per time, then it's going to be much worse. From my side, I'm both working. There was also studies, and then there are also doing research work. As you can check in the channel, I do research works for students, helping people here and there. Also do trainings and things like data analysis and all that. There's a lot of so much activities going on. In my side, it was not easy, because when I joined, I found there was computer, and I didn't have, and we were doing things like programming, the Linux, the Python, the R programming, and all that computer bit was really new to them. I was really new to them, and I'm just discovering something right now that I've taken a year when I'm doing internship that I was taught and I didn't master, or I'm learning afresh again, because that one was marathon, non-stop, and basics. You only read what's available to do exam, and when you pass, you're like, oh, thank God, this has ended. Now real life application comes in, and I must say it did take me well. I had to begin learning something, most of the things again, reminding myself from the start. It's not a nice experience. Basically, if you come from biology, please begin learning some computer things, computer basics, some Linux, stroke bash. I try to learn those basic commands for the different softwares or programming languages. You can learn programming and Python, just the basics of them. Both of them are going to be crucial. Most packages available in those two. Python has so many packages, not only for data science, also bioinformatics, the biological analysis. There is a whole concept of biological Python. Let me call it like that. It's like Python that deals with biological data. But for the meantime, you can just learn normal Python, data structures, functions, basic items about Python. Same applies to R programming. Before you join school, you can learn basic things, the interfaces, the data structures in R, how to variables, the defining functions, the installing packages, updating them. Those basic things are going to be very important. Things like plotting, you may learn that in later time when you join school. At the initial stage, you may not really need, but if you have time, you can do plotting, ggplots, and some of the different plotting packages. Challenge with most of these programming languages like R and Python, unlike other statistical softwares, if you have heard about SPSS, Stata, even Excel itself, all these statistical packages that most of those packages, everything is within one particular software. If you learn the software, you have learned everything. You're good to go. With these other programming languages, Python and R, on top of learning the basics about them, each package has a different learning curve. It does something totally different. You'll be installing packages that does for you a particular thing. You will be uninstalling there. You will be creating environments to have them. Your disk will be full. How do you ensure that your disk is not full? Some of the packages after installing will affect how your general system works. Your general computer system works. It can affect its operations. You need to be careful how to install. There is a lot of mambo jumbo within there. You could learn basics for now, but as you join school, you'll now get into those other details for the packages. With all that said, within 3 months, if you go as a total beginner, right? Of course, when they're going to teach you, they'll begin with those beginner parts, the beginner thing, installing. But there'll be like one lesson, go, and then they keep on moving forward because there's so many packages, so many things to be learned. Before you know it, you are now in some lesson 15, but lesson 1, 2, 3, you have forgotten about it. Now, take time, do some short lessons, watch some videos, practice them if possible. Install the software. These are free softwares. Python, R programming, even general bash or the Linux itself, those are free softwares. Install them in your machine, work on them. If you have Linux, a computer running on Ubuntu, you already have Linux in there. Just open a terminal, practice some terminal commands. Within this channel, you can check, you'll find some basic Linux commands you can run. If you have Windows, you may need to install Linux subsystem. You have a subsystem within your Windows. You have Windows, then you have your Linux subsystem with a subsystem. You can also use a Windows subsystem. I think these days, if you have Windows 11, there is already a terminal in there. You don't need to install. You can just use that terminal to begin practicing them. Just try to acquaint yourself with these basic commands and all that. With that said, if you have all that available, you have been learning those basic items, you have gotten a computer with a fair RAM, beginner 4 GB RAM, 16 GB RAM would really do you something good. 1 terabyte of hard disk, fairly enough. Okay. You can do basic things. Have that available. If you have that nailed down, I think your journey is going to be much fair. Thank you. If you want more advice or anything you want to know about data science, bioinformatics in general, as you're going to start, let me know in the comment section.